In the early 2000s, life was fine. I had a decent job, 2 beautiful kids, ages 4 and 6, and a wife who worked part-time and spent the rest of her days supposedly visiting her parents with the kids. At first, it made sense. Her folks lived about 90 minutes away, and they adored the kids. But 2 or 3 times a week. That's a 6-hour round trip. Something didn't sit right. Still, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. So, I asked her about it, casually. Her eyes darted. Her voice tightened. She brushed it off with a fake laugh and said, "They just love spending time with Grandma and Grandpa." But here's the thing. My wife has never been a good liar. And when kids are that young, they talk. They started describing things they saw, stores, places, not around her parents' neighborhood. So I got smarter. I started checking the mileage on her car. Quietly. Every week. And guess what? She was racking up hundreds of extra miles. 400 a week, give or take. My stomach dropped. I knew something was going on. Then fate handed me a key. One day, I sat down at our shared computer and there it was, a sticky note by the keyboard with her AOL password scribbled on it. I stared at it for a minute. Heart pounding. And then I logged in. Email after email, I read her talking to her college best friend. And right there, without shame, she bragged about regularly sleeping with an ex from high school. She mocked the guy's wife, laughing about how she'd let herself go after having kids. Cruel. Cold. I printed every email and stashed them. But I needed more. So I called an old friend, he's a cop. He didn't ask a lot of questions. Just gave me a name, Ron. A private investigator who used to be on the force. I handed Ron the emails, the schedule, the car mileage, everything. Ron delivered. Within days, I had photos, dates, times, a pattern. My wife would drop the kids at her parents' place, meet up with Bob for lunch, and then they'd head to a dingy motel off the highway. Afterward, she'd swing by, collect the kids, and return home like nothing happened. I remember staring at the photos, my hands trembling. Not from heartbreak. That had already come and gone. This time it was rage. Cold. Calculated. Rage. But I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I'd seen what messy, chaotic divorces did to kids. My parents cheated on each other. It ruined our lives. I wasn't going to put my children through that. This would be different. First, I hired a divorce lawyer. No drama. Just business. Then I asked Ron one more favor, find out everything about Bob. And again, Ron came through. His name was Bob. Married. 3 kids. VP of sales at a family-run company, owned by his father-in-law. He and his wife lived in a house owned by her parents. I had everything I needed. I had my lawyer finalize the divorce papers and scheduled for them to be served to my wife, at her job. Public. Unavoidable. And on that very same day, Ron went to visit Bob's wife. He showed her everything. Emails. Photos. Motel timestamps. Lunch dates. Apparently, she cried. Then she got quiet. And then she got cold. I told Ron, what she does next, that's up to her. My wife came home that night after being served. Pale. Shaky. She tried to talk. I just pointed to the couch and said, don't. We'll speak only about the kids. Nothing else. Meanwhile, Bob's world imploded in spectacular fashion. His wife cleaned out their joint accounts. Every cent took the kids. Moved back in with her parents. When her dad found out what Bob had done, he was fired. On the spot. Since they owned the house, Bob was evicted too. I later found out, through court records, that things got worse. He tried showing up at the house. Fights broke out. Her brother broke his nose. Restraining orders followed. Even criminal charges. Jail time. The works. It was like watching a building collapse in slow motion, knowing I'd pulled the first brick. These days, Bob's a ghost. Can't find him anywhere online. Rumor has it, he left the state. His ex-wife, thriving, took over her dad's company after he retired. As for my ex-wife, we kept things civil for the kids. I never yelled. Never called her names. I just moved on. Now that the kids are grown, we don't speak anymore. I don't hate her. I don't love her. I don't feel much of anything, honestly. She's their mother, and that's all she'll ever be to me. Sometimes revenge isn't about yelling or screaming. It's about quiet precision. Letting karma do the heavy lifting while you sip your coffee and watch it unfold. And in this case, karma wore a badge, carried a camera, and had perfect timing. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where justice isn't just served, it's served cold.